Hi guys, welcome back once again. My name is Ezra and today I'm going to be going through my massive birthday haul. I hadn't actually been able to do for you at the time, but I'm getting around to it now. My apologies, but you can see it is quite a big pile. So let's crack straight on with some of the comics, graphic novels and manga that I've actually picked up. First one is Knights of Cydonia number 7. This is one of the earlier manga that I picked up, which I'm really enjoying so far. It is about, if you imagine, say for example, people were on Earth, these aliens attacked Earth and it forced mankind to flee away into space on the remnants of a big piece of Earth after it was destroyed. Basically, they're escaping these massive alien creatures called Gorna, which are kind of mutated creatures. It's a really interesting sci-fi book, which I really didn't enjoy to begin with, but it's a slow grower. It's about these massive mech machines that they pilot to fight off these mutating alien creatures. It's got that really hard sci-fi element to it, but then it's got all that kind of intrigue and mystery behind these mutated aliens and if they can actually communicate with humans, so that's been really enjoyable. So that was my first one. My second book is Attack on Titan number 11. Again, one of my favourite manga series. Probably enjoy this one more than Knights of Cydonia. They are very different. This is about humanity that are living behind these massive walled cities, essentially, and there's one kind of last bastion where humanity is surviving. There are these humongous titan creatures that live outside the walls, which resemble humans, but they have no real sex, so they're not male, they're not female, and some of them can range between, say, like 12 foot tall to 90 feet tall, these massive titans. And they basically just go around seemingly aimlessly and just killing humans. In the previous book there was something really big that was revealed, which is great, so this one really should be a tipping point in terms of what happens next in the storyline. But that was my second book, so that's Attack on Titan number 11. Next, UQ Holder, another manga which I'm incredibly happy to be reading. This is actually something that I haven't actually been able to pick up for a while. This one's only just come out and it's around, I think, about 4 months maybe until each version of UQ Holder comes out. It's about a boy who had a group of friends and he has a teacher who kind of teaches him how to fight, and she, unknown to him, is actually a vampire. So she has all these kind of super fighting skills that he's trying to learn from. Right at the very beginning of UQ Holder, he's turned into a vampire. It then follows the storyline of him. He's being attacked by a group of people and him basically looking to join this vampire cult that he's now kind of dragged into. Really enjoyable. The fight scenes are great. I like it to something like Dragon Ball Z with the kind of fight scenes where they have all these interesting superpowers that are awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery behind where these powers come from and what they can do next with them. So that's UQ Holder. Really looking forward to read that one. Sorry. So this is Vinland Saga. This is another manga which I've read the whole book so far, and I've also got number 2, which I've also read. This is something that I have really enjoyed. Again, another fantastic book. There's so many good manga out there at the moment. This is about a character called Thorfinn and kind of his backstory with his father called Thors. These are Vikings that lived in Iceland, and his family lived in a kind of small commune, out of the way, out of harm's way. They don't join fights due to his father's history and where he came from and why he decided to not look to fight with the warring tribes anymore. But it does follow Thorfinn and actually ends up him being part of the Viking raids on England and the history around his father and a vengeance that he has to fulfill by killing his army, say, leader. Brilliant fight scenes in this. Again, there's a lot of character depth in this, hugely. It not only focuses on Thorfinn, but it also focuses on his family, so his mother, his sister back home, and actually the plight of the English people as they actually go to fight. There's a lot of depth in this, and it is quite brutal and true to most likely how things would have been, so it doesn't hold any punches here in terms of when they go raiding. Really, really great book. Can't recommend this enough. I'm finished volume 2 at the moment, so I'm about to go on to volume 3, and I'm really intrigued to see where that's going. So that is Vinland Saga. Next we have a book by Mamoru Oshii and Satoshi Kon. Satoshi Kon is the one that holds out in my mind in this. He was an artist who worked on Akira. Now, if you know Akira, you'll know the kind of drawing style in this, which is why I picked it up. I thought, why not go with this and see where the story goes? Didn't know anything about the story, but it's very, very confusing. Just to let you know, guys, it's about, well, imagine whilst living in Japan, a massive outbreak occurred all over the world, and lots of these people turned into kind of zombified creatures. They're still human, but all the emotion, everything, their memories and everything is totally gone and void, so they all kind of act the same and just dull, and they all end up kind of lying around lifeless. But if they are pushed, then they will kind of attack attack, not in terms of eating, but just kind of mobbing you. It's more just about the virus that just slowly debilitates you and takes away all your senses, your mind, everything really. It's a bit confusing, to be honest. It was never finished because unfortunately Satoshi Kon passed away when he was about 40. It's an interesting book. It wasn't something that I understood all that much, just purely because there's so much reference to different cults and different warring parties in this book as well. Quite hard to understand. I was kind of getting into it towards the end, but unfortunately it's an unfinished story. It does go into the history of after the book was made and whilst it was being written, so it's an interesting read anyway. But that is Seraphim 266-13336 Wings. An interesting title name, guys, but that was that one. Next I have another book by Satoshi Kon. This is called Opus. He was also a famous manga director. Now he did create this book, which is an introspective look on a manga writer, and it goes into how a manga writer can be pulled into his own world. I haven't started reading it yet. It is very intriguing. It's a totally different type of manga that I would read. It's not necessarily fictional in that sense, but it is, like I said, an introspective look. So it's interesting. I'll do a review on it when I'm finished, just to let you know what I think. But that's Satoshi Kon's Opus. By the way, look at that. That cover is awesome. Next we have Low. Low was a graphic novel that I have read, which is volume 1, by Rick Remender. This was something that I have read just the other day, and wow, this blew my socks off. Absolutely loved Low. I really didn't think I would like this just due to the art style alone. It's kind of a watercolour art style, which really didn't think I'd like. Again, this is about Earth in the future, where the sun is expanding and it's starting to engulf the whole solar system, starting to irradiate Earth, so the surface is not livable anymore. Humanity has had to escape to the depths in the seas in these big ocean-faring cities. It goes into the life of someone who's very high up at the top of society in one of these cities underwater, and it starts to explore the possibility of moving from Earth to another planet. Now, they've sent out all these space probes to different parts of the galaxy or solar system. One person in this holds out hope for bringing back a probe with hopeful information of possibly somewhere that humans can go and live. Something tragic happens in this, and there are factions outside of these cities that want to get in and take it for themselves. They don't think there's any other hope out there. These pirates do something to the family, which is quite distraught, and then it goes into a member of the family going to try and find others and all the trials and tribulations that go with that, and it's absolutely fantastic. I've already fallen in love with the characters already. There's a range of different ones, you know, within a family that it follows. I can't recommend Low enough, guys. Please go out and grab a copy now. So that's Low. One before the finish, guys. So this is Capture Creatures. This is a comic that I picked up a while ago, and I literally only picked it up because it looked pretty cute. If you like stuff like Pokemon, if you watched it when you were younger, this is what it essentially reminded me of, and it's going to be one of those worlds where you've got loads of different creatures with all these different powers, like fire abilities, water abilities, vegetation abilities. It's just really, really cute. It kind of follows the story of a couple of kids who end up on an island where some of these creatures are. They have these adventures. It's a typical kind of kid's story, but again, there's just little quirks in it about the characters and about the animals, which I absolutely love. So if you like that kind of thing, I'd really recommend going to pick up Capture Creatures as well. And last but not least, here we go, the massive pile is Chew. Now this is the Omnivore edition. I think this houses comics, all of comics 11 to 20. I've got the other hardback edition over there on the shelf, and it's a fantastic book with a nice velvet page keeper in here as well. If the art style doesn't grab you in this, the storyline will, and the uniqueness of it. This is about a detective called Tony Chu, who is a cyberpath, I think that's how you pronounce it without going in and looking, but it basically is about him being able to taste things and tell the history of where they come from. So whether that be that food, an object, anything, he will automatically know where it came from and how it was treated. Now of course, as a detective, he has to use that in pretty gruesome ways. He can actually eat a part of the victim, and automatically in his mind flashes will occur, and he'll kind of see what happened to them, how they were killed. Really interesting concept so far. Really interesting in terms of where the book is going with this at the moment. It has some other really cool main characters, possibly to do with kind of vampire-y cult type stuff. Just started reading this, so I'll let you know what I think of this when I finish it. That pretty much sums up my massive birthday pull, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. As soon as I get any more big collections like this, I'll be sure to let you know. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.